Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So you are probably so sick of me hearing that I have a bajillion audiobooks on my Libro FM account. I know, I'm sick of saying it. And I am, as always, trying to read down the books that I already have. And I have been leaning heavily on the library this year so far, which is great. Love my library, support your local library. Libraries are amazing. But I need to swing the pendulum the other way for a little bit. But I currently have 318 unlistened to audiobooks on Libro FM. I know, it's a problem. And that's just too overwhelming. I can't select because just squirrel brain takes over and I can't pick. So I have a number picker wheel pulled up with 318 numbers on it. Back in January, put all of my unlistened to Libro titles into a Google Doc. And so every book has a number. We're going to spin the wheel and we're going to see what audiobook I get. And I think this video will span throughout all of April. And then we'll just see what I listen to in this month and what I think. It is currently April. I changed my watch face so it doesn't tell me what the date is anymore. That's a mistake. I think it's the 8th. Yes, because this is the end of my pay period. So yes, it is April 8th. Let's just set up the screen record on my computer and we'll just see what I get. It'll be fun. All right, I'll be honest, I'm a little nervous. And I probably should go through my Libro and archive the audiobooks that I am truly no longer interested in, but also who knows if I'm still interested or not. And I will not be afraid to DNF. So that'll save me. Okay, let's spin and see what I get. Okay, 44. Let's go see what 44 is. God, I have to go so far. Okay, 44 is Elizabeth Webster and the Court of Uncommon Pleas. I feel like that is going to be a middle grade title. Doesn't that sound like a middle grade title? I think so. It's like I know what I'm talking about or something. I mean, doesn't it? So this is book number 1 in the Elizabeth Webster series. Elizabeth Webster is happy to stay under the radar and under her bangs until middle school is dead and gone. Oh my goodness. So it sounds like a ghost story, maybe a mystery. And it's only 7 hours and 52 minutes, which is going to be like 4 to 5 hours once I speed it up to my ideal listening speed. And I've had it since 2019. So far, this is a win, and I'm so excited to finally be doing this. I have a quick update for Elizabeth Webster and the Court of Uncommon Pleas by William Lashner. I'm 12% in. I'm not super impressed so far. The writing is fine. I would say Elizabeth is supposed to be in 7th grade, and then this boy that she goes to tutor, Henry, is supposed to be in 8th grade, and they do not read like they're in middle school. They definitely read like they're in high school. And also, Elizabeth is very whiny. Her mother is divorced. Her father is kind of a deadbeat dad, like he's not in the picture, and she has a stepbrother who's younger that she's really close to, but she's very whiny about how her life is, and it's kind of annoying. I am going to keep reading because I did check on Storygraph and all the reviews said that once this whole like ghost and supernatural judicial court situation is introduced, that is really well done. So I'm going to keep going, but I just wanted to give an update while I'm thinking about it that I'm not super impressed right now. We'll see if Storygraph readers are accurate and it gets better and it gets more interesting, but right now I'm not impressed. Hi friends, it's Editing Emily. I just realized I lost my footage where I told you what I thought of Elizabeth Webster and the Court of Uncommon Pleas. I largely agree with the Storygraph reviews. I think that when it switches over to the court and the trials, that part is really fun and that's interesting and it's creative, but I really struggled with kind of the rest of the book. So the story is that Elizabeth is going over to tutor this boy named Henry, who's the swimming star for her school, and she's going to tutor him in math. And while she's there, she realizes that there's a ghost in Henry's house. And Elizabeth and Henry and Elizabeth's best friend, whose name I've totally forgotten now, go on this quest to help Henry get rid of the ghost in his house. And on the way, she discovers that her father is a lawyer for ghouls and goblins and the undead, and that is the family business. And Elizabeth herself is thrust into being a lawyer for the dead. And that part, like I said, was the best part. But I found the kids to be written in a more mature way than they actually would have been. And I'm not going to continue on with the series, but I think like if you have a kid who reads middle grade and wants something a little bit different, a little bit of a twist on your standard fantasy middle grade, then this is a solid choice. It just didn't appeal to me as an adult reader, but I think for an actual middle grade reader, it's a solid book. I'm finally here with an update. I had some technical difficulties recording the spin and my reaction. Technical difficulties and like familial difficulties, like nobody was willing to leave me alone when I was doing it. So here's proof that I spun again. And I got Axiom's End by, I forgot. And I'm 11% in, and I'm trying to go into it with an open mind because I've had this as an ALC since before it came out, and my husband has DNF'd the book, and he and I align pretty closely in our reading taste, so when he doesn't like it, there's a really good chance I won't like it as well. And also just I don't think I've seen a good review for this book, so I went in reluctantly but also trying to have an open mind. Also, I'm in the drive-through line for fast food because A, I've been solo parenting for almost a week. B, I just went grocery shopping right after work and I am starving, and the idea of having to wait until after I've put away the groceries and then have to actually make myself lunch sounds like the worst thing in the world. So it's just where we are, but I'm safe. I'm not videoing while I'm driving. Anyways, and I, for some reason, thought this was a science fiction book. I mean, it is, but I thought it was going to be like a space book, and it seems like it is more a first encounter alien kind of book. And the writing isn't great. I've been trying to pinpoint what about the writing is not working for me. There's just something about it that is just, I don't know if it's too simple, if it's too straightforward. I don't know what it is, but our main character is Cora, and Cora is in her early 20s, and she lives with her mom and her younger brother and younger sister. Her dad split about 5 years beforehand, and he's a very popular like conspiracy theorist person. And so there are a lot of people that really love him and think that he is the only one who's being honest about what's going on, and Cora is just like not impressed because, you know, he abandoned them. So like, why would she care? And then there, like, a meteorite hits, and her dad publishes like this public manifesto that references her and her siblings, and so all of a sudden they have all this media attention on them. And now the point I'm at, there's somebody in their house and they're trying to figure out what's going on. All right, I'm home, I'm fed, groceries are put away. Camera is focusing on the chair instead of me. Hi. Oh, the part I'm at, it's the middle of the night and Cora wakes up or Cora is awake, and somebody is or something is in the house, and I'm 90% sure whatever alien creature crash landed during the meteor is in her house. This is only 10% in. I don't feel like this is a spoiler, and I don't even know if this is for sure. This is my guess based off of what I've listened to so far. And this is supposed to be a tense scene. I can tell by the way it's written and by the way the narrator is talking that I am supposed to be, invested. It's a tense scene. It's a tense moment. And I feel like it's not, because I know it's happening. And it just reads more like women's fiction thriller to me, in my opinion, than it does science fiction. And I don't read women's fiction most of the time, and I definitely don't read thrillers because I don't like them. And so I'm not enjoying this because it's reminding me of two genres that are my least favorite genres. And I'm honestly, I was trying to say it nice before, but like, I don't think the writing is very good. Truthfully, I just don't. It just feels too simple for what the story is. And I know this is the author's debut, and you know, not all writing has to be like the best writing ever. It's okay that some books have less than stellar writing. I have read and loved plenty of books with not great writing. But yeah, this one just in general, I'm not impressed. I do like the audiobook narrators. I don't remember who they are. Let me go find out. So Abigail Thorne and Stephanie Willis are the narrators, and I'm pretty sure I've listened to one of them on another audiobook. No, maybe not. Their voices sounded familiar. Stephanie Willis is 258 credits on Libro.fm though, so that's pretty impressive. I like the narrators a lot. I'm not vibing with this one the way I wanted to. And I did the debate of, well, I could stick it out and listen to more and see if my opinion changes, but then I also was just in a reading slump the other day after I DNF'd a book. And I don't want to read myself into another reading slump. Oh, it only has a 3.71 average rating on Storygraph. I wonder what the reviews say. This review star calls it a humdrum book. That feels accurate. Yeah, I think I'm good. I'm gonna call this one a DNF and move on to something else because life is just too short. So mark that off on my Libro.fm and move on to something else. So let's go ahead and spin again. There's my little spinny wheel. There it is. All right, let's see what we get this time. $201 is A Proposal They Can't Refuse. That's contemporary romance. Oh dear. It might be fine. Maybe it'll be fine. Oh, I remember this one. Yep, it's by Natalie Kana, and I think it's a food-based romance. A Puerto Rican chef and an Irish-American whiskey distiller forced into a fake engagement by their scheming octogenarian grandfathers. Okay, well, that's the purpose of this challenge, right? Oh, it's only 8 hours and 28 minutes on audio. Thank goodness. That's short. I promise I'm gonna give it a fair chance. It'll be good. It'll be good. Because I have seen this book multiple times and I think the cover is real cute and I could like it. I could be a romance reader again. Yeah. Okay, I'll come back later. I forgot to update while I was going, but that's okay because it was a short book. But I did finish the audio for A Proposal They Can't Refuse by Natalie Kanya. I went and got a physical copy from my library just because they had it. And I don't know, you don't need an explanation for why I went and got a physical copy. Anyways, this is a contemporary romance. This is childhood friends to rivals to lovers, I guess. And our main characters are Camila, whose family owns a Puerto Rican restaurant in this suburb in Chicago, and then Liam, who owns a whiskey distillery with his grandfather, and their prospective businesses are right next to each other. They have grown up in each other's back pockets. Pretty much they have had a little bit of a falling out, or they had a big falling out in high school. And when this starts, Camila and Liam's grandfathers have both extorted, manipulated, blackmailed them into agreeing to fake date. First off, this is the perfect length for a contemporary romance. This is 325 pages. That's a perfect length. in my opinion, for a contemporary romance, just right around that 300-page mark. And I liked certain things about this and I disliked other things about it. The first thing that I didn't like right off the bat is that this book opens with a scene at the assisted living facility that the grandfathers live in, and the grandfathers are known for causing mischief in this facility, and the way they're treated is just really, they're really infantilized by Camila, by Liam, by the person that is running the care facility. And I don't like that. I don't like the infantilizing of like elderly people. It's not a good look. I also think that while this matchmaker grandfather trope convention can be cute, it always reminds me of Nora Roberts' books, because like she had a whole series based off of a meddling grandfather who is trying to manipulate his grandchildren into getting married and settling down. And I generally think that's where that convention should stay, is in like 90s romance novels. I don't know that I love it in a 2022 romance novel. And then 2022. And then the other thing I didn't like is all the conflict is predicated on not communicating with each other. They both do it. So it's not like one person does it and the other one is like sweet baby angel who never does a misstep. Like both Camila and Liam, like if they had just had an honest conversation, oh my gosh, like all the problems would have been solved. Okay, so those are my issues. What I did really like about this is I did like the writing, and I did like all the food writing, especially like the way Natalie Kanya writes about food was so good. I got so hungry in certain parts of this book listening to her describe the things that Camila was making, the things that like Liam was incorporating into the whiskey. I also liked the relationship between Camila and Liam, like when they were working well together. Their dynamic is really fun to read. I like how they played off of each other. And Camila, it doesn't come out and say this in this book, but if Camila does not have ADHD, like you could knock me down with a feather, because she read like she has ADHD. So I feel like that maybe unintended rep was really good, because I think the way Camila's brain works reminded me so much of like how my brain works, how like the people in my life that I love that have ADHD, like how their brain works. Like it was so reminiscent of that. So I really like that. I thought that was a very like feeling seen moment. Ultimately I'm giving it like a 3.5, maybe a 3.25. I don't know if I would read more in this series, because I think this series is just continuing on with Camila's abuelo like manipulating her brothers into falling in love. So I don't know that I'm in for a whole series of that, but I also did really like her brothers, and I like the setup for the brother who's gonna go next, though that's a single dad romance and I generally don't love that. So we'll see. I did think this was pretty solid for a romance debut. I think I would recommend it. Woo! Because I'm so glad that this came up on the Wheel of Doom, because I honestly didn't know if I would ever get around to reading this book, and I keep seeing it pop up places, and I do really like the cover, so I was curious. I think we have enough time in April that I can listen to one more audiobook. It's currently the 20th, so as long as we don't get like a 20-hour audiobook, I think we can do one more. So let us see what the Wheel of Doom says about audiobooks. Here we go. $2.35. Okay. Oh no. It's another romance novel. It's A Merry Little Meet Cute. And also it's a Christmas romance novel. Okay. I think this is the one that came out 2 Christmases ago that Sierra, Simone, and Julia Murphy, is that right? Yep, did together. Yeah, it's this one. No, it's this one. It's okay. So this is a steamy, plus-size holiday rom-com about an adult film star who is semi-accidentally cast as the lead in a family-friendly Christmas movie and the former bad boy pop star she falls in love with. All right. I haven't heard great things about this, so that makes me a little nervous, if I'm being honest. but I have read Sierra Simone before in the past and I've really liked her books. And if I am going to enjoy a Christmas rom-com, I need to not read it at Christmas time, which I learned about myself last year when I read a whole bunch in October and really enjoyed them. So fingers crossed this one works for me as well. Okay, apologies for the lighting. It just says what it is. It's like 8:30. I kind of hate A Merry Little Meet Cute, so I'm gonna DNF it. I got 18% of the way in, which is good, and I just do not like the guy that is doing the narration for Nolan, and I don't really like this premise. I don't like the setup. I think this is a book that is just too sex obsessed for me at this stage of my reading. I don't want to say journey, but you know what I mean. So yeah, also I don't think the writing is very good. Feels very juvenile, like very simple and not in like a straightforward kind of way. Okay, so the setup is that they're filming this like Hallmark style Christmas movie, and something happens to the original actress that was supposed to play the lead, and she's injured and she can't do it. And the guy that's producing it also owns like a porn production company, and so he hires B, who is a sex worker, and she's been wanting to do like more traditional acting. And then Nolan, who is this former singer in a boy band, is playing the other lead in this rom-com, and he watches like this book's version of OnlyFans. Like he watches B's OnlyFans and is obsessed with her, and of course like recognizes her on set but doesn't say anything to B, and just the way he thinks about her is just giving me the ick. I don't like it. We're gonna DNF it. So what I'm debating is, do I spin the wheel again and hope I get a short-ish book, because we only have maybe like 5 days left in April, or I can cheat and I can pick a short book on my own. That's not the wheel. Hello friends, I left you hanging last night, sorry. And I'm about to head to work, so this is a very quick little update. I did spin the wheel again and I got another rom-com, and I cannot. I am rom-commed out for this month. I cannot just be drop kicked into the rom-com pool after not having gone in for such a long time. So I went instead just into my Libro library. I sorted it by shortest audiobooks, and then I just picked one of those. So I picked Magical Girl Retires, and this is, I think, like an ode to like manga anime girls. I know it's a novel, maybe more like a novella. The audiobook isn't even 3 hours long. I'm really interested in it, and I listened to like 3 minutes of it last night, so I'm not even really in it, but I wanted just to give you an update of what I decided to do. And yes, this does not fully honor like the idea of the challenge, but also the point of the challenge is to listen to my audiobooks that I have on Libro FM, and so I'm still doing that, but I couldn't do another rom-com. So that's the plan. That's what we're doing. This will be the last audiobook for this video, and it's actually a new release. It comes out, as I'm filming this, it comes out on Tuesday. So cool. But yeah, fun times. All right, friends, I finished A Magical Girl. What's this book called? A Magical Girl Retires. That's what it's called. And you know what? I don't know what I'm gonna rate this. It's short. It's a novella. I really liked the narrator. And this is like an ode to magical girl manga. So like Sailor Moon, I think, is the most widely... Yeah? That's a good question. Okay, we cleaned up the slime. What was I saying? Oh, Magical Girl Retires. So this is translated from Korean, and it just came out, what's today, Tuesday? Oh, it's out today, because today's April 29th. And what did I already say? It's a novella. I think I said that already. I don't know what to rate it, because on the one hand, I thought it was really fun. That starts with our main character, oh, what's her name? Roa, who is 29 and she lost her job because of COVID, and she's gotten into massive credit card debt. And her solution for that is that she's gonna unalive herself by jumping off this bridge in Korea. And she's stopped by a magical girl who says that Roa is also a magical girl, but Roa doesn't know what her powers are. So it's like this ode to that style of manga, but in this iteration, like any girl is a magical girl. Like there are 90-year-old women who are magical girls, and at what point do you stop? Like throughout the course of your life, does a woman stop being a girl and start being a woman? But these magical girls have more realistic dangers to battle, like capitalism and climate change. And so the climate change is a big part of the plot and a big component. So on the one hand, it's like really light and fun, but then on the other side, it's like really serious and dealing with heavy themes. And I don't know. And it was so short. I honestly could have used more just because I felt like there's so much to unpack. So I'm leaning towards like a 3 or a 3.25. And I don't know if that's just the format because it's so short, or if it's like the translation or what it is. But I wanted more, I think. Just because it's dealing with so many different themes and it just goes through them so fast. It's like rapid fire. It just kind of flew by. So I think with that being done, I'm going to close out this vlog, this month-long project. Finally, how many audiobooks? I need to keep track of what audiobooks I listen to during these month-long projects if I'm going to keep doing this. Okay, so I DNF'd or 2 audiobooks during this project. I DNF'd Axiom's End and A Merry Little Meet Cute. And I feel like normally I am very kind about my DNFs, but with these 2 specifically, I don't think they're good. I don't think the writing is good. Though, as always, remember that books are art and art is subjective. So me saying it's not good is not good according to my taste. And if you think it is good, that doesn't mean like that I'm wrong or that you're wrong. It's just subjective. So if you liked those 2 and you did think they were good, I love that for you. My opinion is that I didn't think they're good. And then I did listen to Elizabeth Webster and the Court of Uncommon Pleas, which I gave 3.5. I really enjoyed that. I thought that was like a unique take on a middle grade fantasy. And then I also listened to Proposal They Can't Refuse, which I gave 3.5 stars. And then of course A Magical Girl Retires, which I'm probably going to give like a 3. So no new favorites. Sadly, everything's in the 3-star range, but we did move through quite a few audiobooks, which I appreciate. And when I DNF an audiobook off of my Libro account, I mark it as read and then I archive it just to get it out so I don't have to keep thinking about it or seeing it. So anyways, if you have made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching and spending your time with me. Let me know what you think of this format, this idea, if you've read any of these books. I want to hear what you think, so let me know. And like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!